इस वक्त आप सुन रहे हैं मीडिया वेव्स टीवी और इस वक्त हमारे साथ हमारे सिटी के काउंसलर लिंडा एनिस शामिल है और क्राइम स्टॉपर्स के डायरेक्टर है और आज हम उन्हें अपने स्टूडियोज में वेलकम करेंगे और उनसे पूछेंगे कि क्राइम स्टॉपर्स ने जो लॉन्च किया है लोअर मेनलैंड में रेडियो कैंपेन और इसके बारे में आज हम बातचीत करेंगे एक्सटॉर्शन थ्रेट्स के बारे में. सो Linda, welcome to the studios.
Thank you for having me today.
Linda, I know that you're very busy. You're a counselor, you're a director for Crime Stoppers. So we heard about this radio campaign about extortions happening around. So what is this all about?
Well, we really think it's important that people realize that they have a place, if they know a bit of information about these horrific extortion attempts, that they can report and report anonymously, because oftentimes people might know something, but they might not want to deal with the police.
Mm-hmm.
So Crime Stoppers provides them with the opportunity to report any suspected criminal activity, and specifically in this case extortion attempts,
mm-hmm.
anonymously. So if you give us the information, we don't know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
If you give it to us through our website, we can't track your IP address. We want absolutely no personal information, just the information, and we will pass it on to the authorities. If someone's arrested or charged, they will never ever know, even at that point, who it was that gave us the information.
Linda, I know there are a lot of things going around in Surrey. Recently we had a community businessman who was lit to fire, and he's actually fighting for his life. He's very, very critical. And this happened right at Surrey city centre. I know you're the second term councillor and you're very active in the community, you're always around. What does the community say about the public safety to you? What are their concerns?
Well, of recent times, people are very concerned when you start to hear incidents like this, and they have every right to feel that way. The police are doing the very best job that they can, but I would say a couple of things. First of all, if you see something that looks suspicious, doesn't have to be a crime yet, but just looks suspicious,
yeah.
Report it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just think you can leave it to the police, because the police, as good as they are, they can't be everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really important to call the police or call Crime Stoppers. But we also, I think, need to be looking at doing things like stepping up more street patrols, just so that police can, the residents, I should say, can see the police presence and feel more safe.
Mm-hmm. Incidents have been happening around Newton, Surrey Central, Wally area, Guildford, Fleetwood. Every day there's something or the other. Sometimes multiple newses comes out which are not being solved, and we don't see our city mayor around anywhere, and she's never there to address the public what's happening, what's the reason we are not safe. What do you think, according as a councillor, why is it not safe to live in Surrey anymore?
Well, I think it's very important that the mayor be out and addressing this issue. It's a very critical issue. I think certainly one of the issues that comes first and foremost when we're out campaigning about people want to feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
And I would also say this isn't just a Surrey problem. This is a Metro Vancouver problem.
Right.
We have a lot of issues around homelessness, and not that homelessness is a crime, but many of those people suffer from mental health or addiction issues, and we need to, as a city, making sure that those people are able to get the treatment they need
Mm-hmm.
in a timely fashion. And the city needs to be calling on help to get more facilities built to help people overcome their addiction.
Yeah.
And around the gang violence piece, we need to be really stepping up and making sure that we're on these individuals, we're on programs so that our youth that are, as sometimes as young as 10, aren't getting involved in gang activity. Right. It's about education for the kids, and it's about education for the parents.
Right.
And I think it's really important that the city drives this.
And Linda, I know that Crime Stoppers are doing everything they can to get this programs. I know we have so many extortion calls, especially our businesses in Pyle Business Center. Where you been able to talk to these businesses, these people, and what do you think? How do you get this? That what actually happened? Why is it all Indo-Canadian businesses being targeted? We've not heard that any other community's business has been targeted, but it's all Indo-Canadian. What could be the reason?
Well, there's a couple of things happening. You're right. It seems to be mostly in the Indo-Canadian community. Why that is so, I don't know. But it's wrong, and I am talking to a lot of people about it. There's been a rally just a few weeks ago that I attended, and another rally 3 or 4 months ago. People are afraid, but what I would say to those business owners that this is happening to, don't be embarrassed, don't be afraid. You need to let someone know. Just don't pay it and pay the extortion attempt, because that's only going to encourage this on and on and on. What you need to do is tell somebody, and we will make sure that you're safe. I mean, but it's very important that we know where it's being targeted, who's being targeted, so that the police can address it. If they don't get the information, the problem will not get solved.
And do you think that by doing this, launching this radio programs, we might be able to get some results?
I sure hope so, and I think one of the reasons why we have launched it is sometimes people are fearful to report. They're fearful because they might know somebody that's involved in this and they're afraid that there might be repercussions, or maybe they come from an area where they feel that the police aren't necessarily their best friends, and so they're fearful to have that involvement with the police. So Crime Stoppers is offering them the opportunity to report anonymously. And as I was mentioning earlier, when you do report to Crime Stoppers, we don't take any personal information, and if you inadvertently give it to us, we will delete it from the tip before we send it to the police.
Another question, Linda, that at city, just so close to the City Hall, at Surrey Central, there's always cops around, there's always security around that area, and it is a hub where there thousands of students cross that area in a daily basis. I've just got a research that around 5,000 people go through that SkyTrain daily. Something like this happening at a broad light, like 1 o'clock, and everybody's around. And this particular suspect actually left the scene, and he's not been located by any of the agencies yet. Do you think that we need more police officers around Surrey Central? Because that's the place where most of our kids, seniors who don't drive, they use that area, Surrey Central. It's like the prime location in Surrey, and right next to the City Hall.
I think it's really important that the police have a really high visibility, and in Surrey at those stations, it's not just the Surrey RCMP or the Surrey Police Service, but it's also the Transit Police. And we need to make sure one of the comforting factors is if you know there's security people like police present, I think it gives us all a degree of confidence that we're safe. And I think it also, that criminal element will stay away then as well. And police also, know if they see somebody that is in a psychotic state, maybe because of a mental health or drug issue, they can identify that and they can take the situation under control before it escalates.
Well, Linda, you know that as well. There are so many protests around the city, and peaceful protests.
Yes.
We've seen that people want to be heard. They want the officials, the politicians to hear them and do something about the situation they are going through, whether it's regarding the Gaza issue or regarding any other protest which is happening around the City Hall. Is it that any time the city councillors and the city mayor had kind of a fear that somebody might, get inside? We have seen some things happening when Mayor Doug McCallum was there. There were so many people would, get inside and protest and speak language which is not tolerable by many people, and which is not a peaceful language. Do you guys have that kind of fear that something like this could happen in the City Hall?
Well, I think everybody has a right to protest, but I also think protesting in a respectful manner. People, when they're abusive and loud and belligerent, they're not heard.
Yeah.
Human nature is you tend to just discount that, right? But if you collaborate and you protest in a peaceful manner, oftentimes you're heard.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly we have had our share of protests at City Hall. And I think as an elected official, it's a tough job to be an elected official.
Yes,
and
it is.
not many people step up. And I think no matter who you are or what your concern is, you need to speak your mind, certainly, but in a respectful manner.
Right. And Crime Stoppers Director, being a Crime Stoppers Director, and you've been with this as organization for so long, do you think that our people of Surrey are happy with our public safety in Surrey?
I think that's one of the things I can say. Certainly, it's actually crime is down in Surrey over last year, which is a good thing. I think people always are concerned about public safety. You have these incidents, and it makes us all, heighten up in terms of how we feel about public safety. But by and large, I do think the people in Surrey feel pretty safe. Sometimes, as I say, when incidents happen, we all sort of become a little bit more alert and concerned. But I do think that the police are doing the best job that they can to try to keep things under control. But I think there's a responsibility on the part of the public as well,
Mm-hmm.
in their neighborhoods, to join organizations like Block Watch. So if you see something suspicious, you can alert your neighbors or alert the police. I also think that if you're not feeling comfortable to deal with the police, that's when you would use Crime Stoppers. So there's lots of resources out there. I think part of my job is to make sure that people know what the resources are.
Mm-hmm. That's very great, Linda. I know as a media, we always try to bring the stories out to the public, and we kind of not polish it, but we tell the
Yes.
facts, and it's all the truth which we say. And we have been actually targeted many times. Recently, me and Kuljit Kaur, my co-host, we were actually confronted by a few guys asking that why we are doing particular talk shows. So we did not get scared, but we asked them that what is the problem? That's the truth. And they also said to us, well, we'll see if you continue doing it. So these kind of threats have been coming, and recently our immigrant students who are actually in SkyTrain, there will be people who will pull their hair or bump them or try to tease them in a manner. These kind of things were not happening when we migrated here. So migrated people who are here, they're feeling that we came here because of the best public safety, but right now we are not getting that. There are international student girls who actually don't want to travel in SkyTrains anymore because the way they are being treated. Do you guys get these kind of calls?
So we don't generally get calls from victims, because if you're a victim, then of course we know who you are. But I would say if you're feeling threatened in any way, call the police right away. And even if it might seem something inconsequential, it's like when I say inconsequential, it's big if it's you, of course, but if you're getting pushed or somebody says a mean word to you, report it, because if you don't report it, the police don't know that it's happening and they can't do anything about it. And the more intelligent the police can get about this kind of activity, because it's usually a small few that are doing it, but creating a lot of chaos. But the police can't identify those individuals if they don't know that they're doing that to you.
Mm-hmm. At the end, I'd like you to tell our community, as a city councillor, what would you want to give a message today as a director of Crime Stoppers, the things happening around in Surrey for people's public safety? Is there any particular message you want to get across? Because the viewers right now, they are all through Canada, North America, and these programs are going to be going worldwide as well. But at this time, all throughout Canada, people are talking about Surrey, Brampton, why our public safety is like this, and extortion calls and everything. Extortion calls are something that, our business people are very, very worried. Is there any particular message you want to bring it across to them? I know extortion is something that our business people some have already paid money. Some have not come out because they're embarrassed, shy. They don't want anything happening to their family, their kids. But there are few guys who came out. They came out in media. They talked about it, and the frustration is there in the community. The other day I was at Pyle Business Center. People started fighting for a parking spot. So these all things are happening in Surrey. Any messages for them?
Absolutely. First and foremost, I'd say everybody deserves to feel safe. Everybody should feel safe in their community. If you don't report and you go along with it, you're just adding fuel to the fire, and increased criminal activity will happen. Because if people think that they can get away with it, they will get away with it.
Right.
So it's very important to report anything that is suspected criminal activity, even if it's small. And if you're not comfortable reporting to the police, report to Crime Stoppers. Crime Stoppers guarantees that anonymity, no matter who you are. And the other piece I would say about Crime Stoppers that people maybe wouldn't know is we take tips in 100 different languages.
Oh.
So if you happen to speak Punjabi or Hindi or whatever, as soon as you call our center, we will connect you with somebody that can speak your mother language, which I think is very useful, because sometimes you can't express yourself in the way that you want to, maybe in English. So we provide that opportunity. I would also say that if, in terms of your neighborhoods, form block watch groups. It really helps a lot. So if you've got somebody suspicious in your neighborhood, you can not only alert the police, but you can alert your neighbor, so that if maybe he's gone by the time the police come, everybody knows what he looks like then.
Yes.
The other thing that I would say in Surrey that is very helpful is we have a program called Project Iris, and so many of our homes now and businesses have security cameras in
Yes.
them, and you can register them with the police. Or I should say not with the police, with the city. And if there's an incident in your neighborhood, the police know who have cameras. They won't access your cameras without your permission, but they know where the cameras are, so they can get footage in a very timely fashion. The sooner the police can get these kinds of images, the sooner they can get on the case. And cases that they can get on quickly are more likely to be solved.
Thank you so much, Linda. I know you're doing a great job as a city councillor.
Thank you.
And you are doing a great job as the director of Crime Stoppers. Thank you so much for addressing to our community, and our community needs politicians who can hear them, who can discuss with them that how we can solve this as a community and politicians working together.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me today.
Thank you, Linda. दीदी, आपने सुना कि लिंडा एनस जो डायरेक्टर है क्राइम स्टॉपर्स की और हमारे सिटी काउंसलर है, ये उनके दूसरा टर्म है, एंड शी इज़ वेरी एक्टिव वर्किंग इन द कम्युनिटी. उन्होंने कई बातें आज हमारे लिसनर्स के साथ शेयर की, और आपको पता है कि हमारे जो पब्लिक सेफ्टी कंसर्न है, एक्सटॉर्शन कॉल्स है, किसी को आग लगा देते हैं तो किसी को गन शॉट कर देते हैं, किसी को स्टैब कर देते हैं. सो मेनी क्राइम गोइंग आउट इन Surrey. तो उन्होंने कई क्वेश्चंस आंसर किए. हमारे लिसनर्स को डिटेल्स में बताइए.
बिल्कुल आशन, उन्होंने क्राइम स्टॉपर ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਆ ਉਹ ਤੋਂ ਕਿਸ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਰ ਆਮ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਨੂੰ ਸੂਚਿਤ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਨਿੱਜੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਜ਼ੁਬਾਨ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਐਡਵਰਟਾਈਜ਼ਮੈਂਟ ਐਥਨਿਕ ਰੇਡੀਓਸ ਟੀਵੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮਾਂ ਦੇ ਦੌਰਾਨ ਦੇਣ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਸਪਸ਼ਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੁਨੇਹਾ, ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ੀ ਜ਼ੁਬਾਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਮਝ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਸਮਝ ਸਕਣ. ਔਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਵੇਸ ਟੀਵੀ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਵੀ ਅੱਜ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਈ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਸਾਂਝੀਆਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ, ਔਰ ਬੜੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਵਾਲ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛੇ ਕਿ ਕੀ ਕਾਰਨ ਕੀ ਆ, ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜਿਸ ਘਟਨਾ ਦਾ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਸਿਟੀ ਸੈਂਟਰ, ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਿਟੀ ਹਾਲ ਤੋਂ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਛਿੱਕ ਮਾਰੋ ਨਾ ਸਿਟੀ ਹਾਲ ਤੋਂ, ਤਾਂ ਉਸ ਏਰੀਆ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਕਿ ਰਾਹਤ ਰਾਓ ਨੂੰ ਸਾੜਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਉੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਦੀ ਹੈ. ਔਰ ਐਡੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਘਟਨਾ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਸਿਟੀ ਹਾਲ ਦੇ ਮੁੱਢ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ ਔਰ ਉਹਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਖੁਰਾ ਖੋਜ ਨਾ ਹੋ ਸਕੇ, ਕਾਰਨ ਕੀ ਹੈ? ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਵਾਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਹਨ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਵਾਜਬ ਨੇ, ਪਰ ਉਸ ਖੇਤਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਹਿੰਸਕ ਘਟਨਾਵਾਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ? ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਜਦੋਂ ਉੱਠੇ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਨਾ ਦੋ ਤਿੰਨ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਹੀਆਂ. ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਅੰਕੜਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਆਧਾਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਤਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਮੈਂ ਫੇਰ ਕਰਾਂਗੀ, ਪਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਕਹੀ ਵਾਰ-ਵਾਰ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਨੂੰ ਮੁਖਾਤਬ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਥਾਂ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ, ਪਰ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਥਾਂ ਤੇ ਹੈ. ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਕੁਝ ਵਾਪਰਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਕਾਰਡ ਕਰੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਨਾ ਲੱਗੇ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਪਰ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਦੀ ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਵੱਡੀ ਮਦਦ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ
ਨੇ ਫੇਰ ਇਹ ਸੁਨੇਹਾ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਕਿ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਗਲਤ ਵਾਪਰਦਾ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਤੀ ਚਤੰਨ ਹੋਵੋ ਔਰ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਸੂਚਿਤ ਕਰੋ, ਨੰਬਰ 1 ਜੀ। ਨੰਬਰ 2 ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ, ਕਾਂਕੜਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਨੇ ਉੱਠਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਅੰਕੜਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਮੁਤਾਬਕ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਾ ਹਿੰਸਕ ਘਟਨਾਵਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਗਿਣਤੀ ਘਟੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਨਿਰਸੰਦੇਹ ਅੰਕੜਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਮੁਤਾਬਕ ਘਟੀ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਰੋਜ਼ਾਨਾ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 10 ਤੋਂ 12,000 ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ। ਉਹ ਗਿਣਤੀ ਦੇ ਆਧਾਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਪਰ ਕੈਪੀਟਾ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ, ਉੱਥੇ घटी है, ना कि असल दे विच सड़कां दे उत्ते घटी है।
और वैसे दीदी आपको पता है कि जो हमारे फुटबॉल मैच हो रहा था आरसीएमपी एसपीएस आरसीएमपी एसपीएस के फुटबॉल मैच के अंदर बहुत सारे सरी के जो रेसिडेंट्स है, जो सिटीजन्स है, वो पुलिस से राब्ता ही नहीं करना चाहते। बहुत सारे ऐसे क्राइम जो पुलिस को खबर भी नहीं हो रही है। इसके अलावा मुझे कल किसी ने ये भी कहा, कहते हैं कि जो क्राइम नजरअंदाज किया जा रहा है, कहते हैं हमारे शहर में बहुत सारे इलीगल इमिग्रेंट्स रह रहे, बहुत सारे लोग रह रहे हैं जो यहाँ पर पक्का नहीं है, और जब उनके साथ ऐसे कोई इंसिडेंट होता है तो दे डू नॉट रिपोर्ट, they do not want any issues। अब आपको पता है about a few months ago हमारे सामने एक एक्सीडेंट हुआ था,
एक्सीडेंट होया, बंदा पटका के मारिया, वो बंदा उठ के चलिया गया, जिन्होंने गड्डी च वजह पीछे भज्जे भी, रुके भी, पर वो बंदा सीधा ही चलिया गया।
और जब मैंने उसको रोकने की कोशिश की, ही वाज इन अ बाइसिकल, और वो कहता नहीं भैन जी मैं नहीं रिपोर्ट करना। तो रीजन क्या हो सकता सी कि व्हाई ही वाज नॉट रिपोर्टिंग? क्योंकि यहाँ पे जितने इलीगल इमिग्रेंट्स रह रहे हैं, जितने लोगों के पक्का नहीं है यहाँ पर रहने के लिए, तो वो लोग ये जो रिपोर्ट्स है वो पुलिस को नहीं बताते हैं। दे डोंट वांट पुलिस टू नो इट। उनको ये हमेशा डर लगा होता है कि अगर मैंने बता दिया तो मुझे डिपोर्ट कर दिया जाएगा। तो ये सारी बातें भी हम लोगों को देखना चाहिए। और जो हमारे यहाँ इलीगल इमिग्रेंट्स आकर बसे हैं, खास तौर में सरी में, इसके अगर हमें पता ना चले और हम पॉलिटिशियंस के साथ इसके डिस्कशन ना करें, तो इस तरह के हमारे जो पॉपुलेशन है इतना ज़्यादा बढ़ जाएगा। कई लोग अस्पताल वालों के ऊपर गुस्सा करते, और अस्पताल में भी कई बार कितने लोग जाते हैं जो इलीगल इमिग्रेंट्स हैं।
बिल्कुल आशा ना एक अंडरग्राउंड चल रहा है जेड़ा कि सरी दे विच इस वक्त त्रासदी का कारण बनया हुआ। चुने हुए नुमाइंदे ने जेड़े वो अंकड़ियां दे आधार दे उत्ते तां अपना पक्ष दस दिंदे, स्पष्टीकरण दे दिंदे, पर जनता जो कि दिन प्रतिदिन रोजाना सड़कां ते आंढ गुआंढ दे विच देखदी है, ओदे प्रति सुनना जरूरी है जी। और सुनने दे नाल एक गल होर उन्होंने आशा ने एक गल कही कि तुसीं किधरे भी देखदे हो तो क्राइम स्टॉपर दे नाल जरूर जानकारी जिहड़ी है साझी करो। और उहदी यह कि तुसीं अपनी पछाण गुप्त रख सकते हो, कोई तुहानूं सवाल नहीं पूछेगा। क्राइम स्टॉपर दे नाल संपर्क जदों करदे हो, जानकारियां दिंदे हो, तुहानूं अपना नाम नहीं दस्सण दी लोड़, तुहाडा फोन नंबर दस्सण दी लोड़ नहीं, तुसीं अपनी पछाण 100% गुप्त रख सकदे हो। तुहानूं किते भी कोर्ट कचहरी दे विच नहीं बुलाया जाएगा, पछाणन दे लई नहीं बुलाया जाएगा। हाँ, तुसीं जनतक सुरक्षा दे विच अपना जिहड़ा योगदान आ वो पा रहे हो।
और हम अपने सारे व्यूअर्स को ये बात ज़रूर बताना चाहते हैं, आप चाहे सरी में हो, चाहे कनाडा, इस मुल्क के किसी भी कोने में हो, आप अगर लीगल इमिग्रेंट है तब भी आप क्राइम स्टॉपर्स को फ़ोन कर सकते हो। आपकी जो आइडेंटिटी है वो एक्सपोज नहीं किया जाएगा और किसी को पता नहीं चलेगा कि आप कौन है, कहाँ से ये खबर आई है। लेकिन अगर आपने कोई भी क्राइम देखा है, सस्पेक्ट ही कर रहे कि ये क्राइम है, तो वो जो पुलिस को की तरफ आप नहीं जाना चाहते हो तो क्राइम स्टॉपर्स को ज़रूर बताइएगा, क्योंकि आप अगर नहीं रिपोर्ट करेंगे तो ये जो क्राइम है ये बढ़ता रहेगा और हमारे इस मुल्क में हमें रहने के लिए बड़ी मुश्किल होगी। सो क्राइम स्टॉपर्स को ज़रूर कॉल करके बताइए। हमारे सिटी काउंसलर लिंडा एनस आई थी और उन्होंने सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन आप लोगों को बता कर गए हैं। क्राइम को रोकना है और वी हैव टू एक्ट एज अ सिटीजन ऑफ दिस कंट्री। और अगर आप यहाँ पर इलीगल इमिग्रेंट है तो भी आप अपने जो ये क्राइम्स देखते हैं और आपके ऊपर बीतती है, वो आप क्राइम स्टॉपर्स पर अनोनिमस होकर बता सकते हो।
ਤੇ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਆਸ਼ਾ ਨਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਹੋਰ ਕਹੀ ਸੀਗੀ, ਉਹ ਕਹੀ ਸੀ ਘਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹਨੇ ਕੈਮਰੇ ਲਗਾਏ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਸਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਨਾਲ ਰਜਿਸਟਰ ਕਰਨ, ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਪੁੱਛਣ ਤੋਂ ਬਗੈਰ ਉਹ ਫੁਟੇਜ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵਰਤੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾ ਸਕੇਗੀ, ਪਰ ਯਕਦਮ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਕਾਰਵਾਈ ਕਰ सकेगी।
वो एक्चुअली ये होता है दीदी, इस प्रोग्राम में ये डिटेल्स हमने पहले भी अपने लिसनर्स को बताया कि ये जो प्रोग्राम है, अगर आपके घर में सीसीटीवी कैमरा है तो आप सिटी के साथ रजिस्टर करो। सिटी के वेबसाइट पे रजिस्ट्रेशन वो कैमरास है जो पुलिस उसको एक्सेस कर सकते हैं ऑनलाइन, लेकिन आपके परमिशन के बगैर नहीं एक्सेस किया जाएगा। तो कहीं पर क्राइम सीन है, पुलिस का जो टाइम है वो बच जाएगा। वो आपके घर पे वो स्पेशल टाइम निकाल कर आकर वो काम नहीं करेगा, लेकिन हाँ आपके परमिशन के थ्रू वो लोग अपने ही दफ्तर में बैठ के आपके कैमरा एक्सेस कर सकेंगे। सो दिस इज़ अ ग्रेट प्रोग्राम जो सिटी ऑफ सरी वालों ने निकाला है, और पुलिस ने तो क्राइम स्टॉपर्स के साथ ज़रूर क्राइम को कम करो। इसी के साथ मुझे इजाज़त दीजिए, अंटिल नेक्स्ट टाइम, गुड बाय।
प्रोग्राम 'ਚ ਸਮਾਂ ਸਾਂਝਾ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ।